Hey ho, SallyBC here, and today I'm doing a video on Transformers Studio Series 86 Deluxe Bonecrusher, the first component of Devastator. So here he is in his bulldozer mode, and that is a lot of green. Hardly any colour breakup, outside of this little bit of purple at the front, and the Decepticon insignia on the scoop. But that is show accurate. It does look to be a little taller than it should be, and the canopy section doesn't look quite right either. It's also only got one smokestack, rather than two. But overall, I think it's pretty accurate. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite tab together properly. There's always seam lines here, and that seems to be a problem on most copies. The head is also pretty obvious, as some of the black is painting through, since they only painted the back of the head green. There are two 5mm ports on top, which his gun can plug into, and the smokestack is a 5mm peg for some reason. There's also a 5mm port underneath, but as it's flush with the ground, it's kind of useless. The scoop can lift up, revealing some robot mode details underneath. You can unplug it in order to get some more range from it. There are unfortunately no wheels underneath, so it can't roll, just sort of slides. That was unexpected. For comparison, here is 86 Optimus Prime, another deluxe treaded vehicle, Kingdom Warpath, my previous Transformers video, 86 Megatron, a Lego minifigure, and 86 Optimus Prime. For transformation, you want to start by detaching the treads, and you can move them down. Then you'll want to lift this section up and this black section down, and then grab the entire back section and move it down like that. That will allow you to split these sections out. Flip this cockpit section back, flip out the head, then you can move this whole section back up and tab it into place. Move this back down, move this black piece back down, make sure the cockpit is flush on it, move the arms around, unfold them and spin the forearms around. Take the scoop, detach it, then the same tab that was used in alt mode will plug in right here. And then finally you'll just want to flip out the feet. And after that relatively simple transformation, here is Bonecrusher in his robot mode. This is one chunky fella. It's in massive contrast to his animation model, which was relatively slim. I understand there have to be compromises for a combiner, but come on. Look at the other arm, Scavenger. He looks fine. Outside of the astronomical levels of chunk, he's actually pretty show accurate. He's got all the right red and purple details on the chest, though the Decepticon insignia could have done with being a bit larger. He's got that weird chin strap and cap. Gotta love the jank heads some of the Constructicons had. His arms are definitely a little weird. They look a little stubby, and I wish they had more defined hands. They really should have folded out forearms. The DNA Design upgrade kit does include some alternate forearms that do just that. Shame the kit's also filled with a bunch of tat. That kit honestly embodies everything wrong with DNA in my opinion. Maybe I'll make a short on that topic in the future. I love the legs just entirely being made out of the treads. Such a cool aesthetic choice. His gun is also pretty accurate to the cartoon. Looks perfectly fine in his hand. And you can store it on his back in that same 5mm port that was under his vehicle mode. The other two 5mm ports that were on top are now his hands. For articulation, he's got a ball joint at the head, but it may as well just be a swivel because you can barely get any up and down and side to side. But he does have a hinge that allows him to look up and down. If you move the chest out of the way, you can get it to look further down. Arms can go all the way around and this far out. Since these panels don't clip in, they can fall down quite frequently when trying to mess with them. Elbow bend. He could have had a double elbow bend if they put a swivel here, but alas, they didn't. Elbow swivel that can be used as a bicep swivel, and nothing in the hands. Legs can go forward this far, back this far, and this far out. Thigh swivel, knee bend that clips into place, which surprisingly actually makes it quite useless, because a lot of the time when you use a knee bend, you're actually going to be using it in very small increments. So the fact that it goes from 0 to like 5 straight away, it's just difficult to use it in more neutral stances. Down at the toes, down at the heels, and an ankle pivot. I tend to find that this one's a little bit more freeing than this one. Now, technically, he does have a waist swivel and an ab crunch, but tabbing the scoop in actually locks it off entirely, which is a massive shame. Really could have used that extra articulation. His posability is very limited. The locking knees make it difficult to use them in neutral poses, and his general physique doesn't exactly make it easy to get him looking dynamic. The lack of a waist swivel is the most obvious thing. For comparison, here is 86 Optimus Prime, another deluxe treaded vehicle, Kingdom Warpath, my previous Transformers video, 86 Megatron, a Lego minifigure, and 86 Optimus Prime. I've always tended to view the Constructicons as being larger than this. Maybe about a head taller. I just think it would make them more intimidating as a team. And considering that also would have resulted in a larger combined mode, that definitely would have been my preference. Ultimately, this is a highly flawed figure. Combiners are always going to have sacrifices, but I can see a world where they weren't this compromised. I think, considering how popular of a character Devastator is, they could have gotten away with making the arm bots Voyager, and maybe even making the leg bots Leader, in order to make them better and maybe a little larger. I would only really recommend getting this guy if you plan on getting the whole team, or you just really like his dopey proportions. I guess it is nice to get some representation of this body type. At the end of the day, he's generally still a fun figure to mess with. He just misses the mark in a lot of places. But let's see what other people think. Really stubby and fat, and overall just a downgrade on the Combiner Wars in nearly every way except articulation. Next time, eat a salad. I don't own Combiner Wars, so I can't say for a fact, but from what I've seen, I think I prefer how this guy looks. Combiner Wars honestly just looks bad. Well, this guy is just passable. He's adorable and a lot of fun to mess with. He's quite a chunkster of a fella. I don't know why they keep fumbling when it comes to making Bonecrusher talk, but all I can say is that it's so bad, it's good to me. Like, I can't help but love it for being so terrible. Also, insert random green screen car crash effect after this. No. Somehow and some way, I feel like X-Transbots pulled it off better, which is a shocker considering, yikes. Can't say I really know anything about that figure, but like, it is Masterpiece, so probably. Mid, but I like his transformation. Yeah, pretty much. The best Chug figure, period. Big Bonecrusher here is a very mediocre figure in all, maybe even below that, but he has an endearing charm to him, plus a somewhat pleasant transformation for a charming alt mode. He's the greatest figure ever, joke, but he's pretty ugly and fat. Tiny limbs, basically the same proportions as a core class. I do wish he could actually use the waist swivel and ab crunch he has. I also wish the chest plate tabbed in somewhere. Also, my copy has tabbing issues with the arms in vehicle mode. Other than that though, it's a decent figure. Definitely the worst out of the Constructicons, and not the best first impression for them. It's a peak figure. I don't know about his proportions and lack of waist, which can be fixed with the DNA kit. It's the best official G1 Bonecrusher we got. I just love his design and alt mode. I wish I could get him. Yeah, the DNA kit is a must buy for me. Although once I get them all, I'll probably keep them in combine mode, so make sure to tell me what you think down in the comments. But that's about it for this video, so I guess that's Salut BC out. Next time is that one guy from the Godzilla movies.